as overwhelmed as not the words. It's indescribable.
Yeah.
You know, the support that we have had out there from the Australian public, from MPs, from Steve Georgianis, from Andrew Giles himself, the Premier, you know, stepped in at the last minute. I cannot thank these people enough.
Yeah.
You know, but more so to the public, all around the world, not just Australia. You know, and we are so grateful even for that one more month, just so we can prove ourselves, you know, prove that we are worthy and we have done nothing wrong. It's
amazing actually, after we ran that story last week, because it went on our UK site, I was getting calls from everybody saying, you got the number, can we get in touch with them? I think ITV got in touch with them.
Yeah, they did.
So yeah, I mean, everybody was just trying to get behind you.
I had too many phone calls. There was just so many phone calls. I mean, that night, I must have had like 1,000 text messages that night. My phone was going bizarre, you know. It was very stressful, to tell the truth, you know. It's the same as today, was very, very stressful. But I'm just glad that they've seen sense and gave us a chance, you know.
That's all we were ever looking for, was a chance, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we came here 2012, February, and all we wanted was to start. We had 2 mortgages back home, and we sold them to come here, you know, and now we're here and we wanted to start our life here, you know, and it was just one hurdle after another, and through no fault of our own, we ended up in this position, and it seemed like the darkness was just getting darker and there was no way out, you know, and then Frank Pankello introduced us to our lawyer, and yeah, from there, she's been absolutely fantastic.
Was that her just leaving there?
No, she's my king here.
Right. So yeah, she's been a game changer then for you, has she?
Yes. She told us to stand up and fight for it, so we took her advice. I was sitting on the fence about it, but these 2 young ladies, my wife,
we had to get him on side.
And we got nothing to lose.
Well,
you know what I mean?
If
they were going to deport us anyway, and we could have been waiting back home for 2-3 years. Although they say it's only going to be a 5-month turnaround or a 7-month turnaround, you look on the website and there's people who've been waiting abroad to try and come here for over 2-3 years. You know, expecting only a 7-month turnaround. You know, and if we had left before our deadline, you know, we would be one of those statistics. You know, and yeah, this is our life. We don't want anything else. There's many countries and people that have offered me jobs. You know, I don't want to leave Australia. I love Australia. You know, it's brilliant for my daughter.
Well, I mean, that was the question I was going to ask him if we met at the airport was, you're really going to come back?
Yeah,
gone through?
Well, it would have been a harder choice to come back once we were there, because it's a lot of money. A lot of money.
And you've cleared this place out.
Yeah. A lot of people think, it's just a matter of, you know, moving country and coming back again. It's not. You don't understand what we're through. Every part of your life is in turmoil, you know, from rent to jobs to tax to everything. Yeah. Everything is done.
I almost had to go through the same thing 20 years ago. And it was actually going to be easier for me to go to Vancouver and just start afresh over there than it was to do what you guys have done. It's a huge thing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we looked at it. We did look at going to New Zealand, you know, and try to live for 3 to 5 months in New Zealand, but it was going to cost, just for rent itself, it was going to cost me $10,000 for the 3 months. You know what I mean? And just for us living expenses, you know, I calculated at $35 a day each person, you know, roughly, for living expenses for everything.
Yeah.
And accumulated over 3 months, that's another $10,000. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just money after money after money. Then you couldn't work over there. You would have to apply for another visa. Yeah. You know, just more money, and then come back again. And it's just it's never ended. It was like 80,000 to go from here to New Zealand with the dog, because the dog was expensive as well. You know, or it was going to cost me 60,000 to go back home with the dog. Yeah. You know, because we had sort of support back home. But at the end of the day, you don't want to go back to live with your parents. The parents have done their time, you know, and they're older and they just want to relax. And You don't want
You're
to
going
make up the
mad.
life for 3 months or 6 months or even up to 2 years, and then thinking about we better look at a rental, we better look at jobs, and before you know it, what's the point in going back? We've started a life back in Scotland where we've begun again with 2 mortgages, and now we've got nothing. You know what I mean? So yeah, fighting it.
Went to the war though, eh?
Yes, it did. It absolutely did. And as I said, we were just overwhelmed by all the support out there. I didn't even think we were going to get as much support as we did, but
not a couple of days.
yeah. Even our petition went from 2,000 to 22,000, and it's like a couple of
Up to
days.
22 now, right?
Yeah.
I was 16 when I checked this morning.
Yeah. It just, we were looking at it
Put a link in.
3 days ago,
Yeah.
4 days ago, it was only 2,000. You know what I mean? On the second day, that we started, it was only 2,000. And we've had people from Egypt, you know, like places in the world where you wouldn't even think it would reach America, everywhere. Just contacting us through Facebook saying, we can't believe this. If there's anything we can do for you, we stay in New Zealand, we'll take your dog for you. You know, I mean, just totally out of the way, but
That's why I'm here.
yeah, you know, so far away, you know, and it would be a hassle to get it to them. But it's the thought of the people. It's the generosity of the people even asking. You know, it's fantastic, brilliant.
Restored your faith in humanity?
Definitely. It has, yes.
And has it restored your faith in Labour government as well?
Oh, the Labour government, I was really sure that they would see that I had done nothing wrong. You know, I mean, I was really hoping that they would see that I'd done nothing wrong, you know, through no fault of our own, you know. It was all down to that last employer, you know, and people do stupid things in life, you know, life's full of hurdles, you know, but
you've been put over them.
We have. We certainly have. Hopefully it's just a flat race from now on. That would be really good.
Would be good.
Yeah, that's it.
So what do you need to do in the next month?
So we will contact our lawyer again, and they will put forward a submission application, ministerial intervention or something, and hopefully from there they will put us onto a different bridging visa, and then we can pay for our permanent residence. You know,
I don't think people fully appreciate the stress that it puts people under, really, do they?
No. I couldn't even think to imagine how much stress these 2 guys are going through, because the amount of stress that I'm going through, and I try and keep it from them, you know, so that I'm not putting them under more stress. But geez, I broke down so many times. It's really bad. I mean, I wasn't always a slim fighter. I was pretty chubby.
You were desperate to get rid of that pot belly that's going.
Yeah. So
it's the visa diet.
Yes.
Well, that's the stress.
Get a book out this
one. Move country, lose 15 kilos straight away. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. There's a lot easier ways to make.
And so, what's the first thing you're going to be doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow we've got more media to do. We've got another radio show. We've actually got 2 radio shows to do tomorrow. We've got a TV show back home to do tomorrow at some point, I think. We've got lots of people to contact. I've inundated with phone calls today. Like over 100 phone calls from different numbers today, just people wanting to know what's happening. You know, I've got a lot of people to let know what's happening.
Were you booked onto that flight this evening?
Yes.
The flight.
Yes.
When did you change your mind about that?
Probably about 3:30 this afternoon.
Seriously?
Yeah.
As late as that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise that. I thought you maybe changed your mind
No,
Sunday or Monday or something.
I paid. Well, we had, but we were holding on for the last minute, just in case, because at the end of the day, if we had overstayed our welcome, we could have made it worse for ourselves, you know.
That's what I was actually concerned about.
Yeah.
When I heard you weren't coming, that was my first thought.
These 2 said, you know what, we've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've got to think that it's the majority, you know what I mean? So
Exactly.